a lot.
Yeah, really.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Pat showed Joan your little name tag. Your mom's purse is back there at the back if you want to set yours in there too. She does cross stitch and she
professional.
she's ready. You don't think this lady's not ready. This lady is ready. Yeah, here's the guest book if you all want to sign in, Shirley. Start there, sign over.
Start the sign.
Get the bed.
I should say, keep getting my finger in the way. I should say this is December the 13th, 1995, and this is Pat Eastham and her retirement. I'm glad you like it. Say something funny, do something funny. That's Shirley Tollison, Sharon Borchard, Nancy Munns, Joan Reynolds, Kirk. Don't forget Kirk Brewer. Isn't he cute? I'm practicing on this, Pat, so when you all look at it, remember I'm practicing.
Okay. This is a test.
This is a test. Miss Nancy Munns of the food service area doing her job. Pat, this will probably be fuzzy. She went outside to wait for Mary, I think, Pat.
Shirley drove me.
Cold, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, she does.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, December 13th at my retirement party. Everything's so pretty and decorated. It's like Christmas in here.
There's your sister.
Yeah, that is Jeannie. Nadine's already brought me up to date. It's whatever. That's all right.
You know, for several years up there in Kansas, when I talked about Mary, all of the people up there didn't know who I was talking about.
Yeah.
This is Pat's sister Mary Manners and her mother. And Sharon, of course.
Well, you guys got this decorated for you. Wesley Hobbs. Remember Wes Hobbs?
This is Mr. and Mrs. Joe Taylor. Pat worked for Mr. Taylor.
Yes, please. Yeah. No, this is fine. Is your family?
Electronics. Oh.
Joe likes those salty pecans. They're good, aren't they?
Of visual communications. Gary. Say something nice to Pat.
See you, Pat. Take care. Bye.
No, go ahead. This is action, Joe. This is action films. Go ahead.
The pecan had holes in it.
The pecans had holes in it.
Yeah, I started choking.
That's
He doesn't wear a suit.
He doesn't?
How you doing?
No, he doesn't.
Lecture this way, didn't he?
Well, not on off days when we're on break.
What are you doing back there? That was a roundabout way of getting home.
No.
I was going to another destination. I stopped. We both was on a trip back in East Texas. We pulled into, what was it? Harris. Joe pulled in and I pulled in. I knew he was down there, but I didn't have any idea we'd see him.
The funny thing is, I've been there several times. I know how to get in and get in trouble. This time, for some reason, I went all the way around.
Oh, he parked 3 times. I pull up behind him, he thought somebody tried to get him. I know it.
And I started going way around here, and finally, this parking lot over here parked. Over and had come through this way. This way. I should know
Joe stumbled all over himself when he was young.
I've been over them, but I
Probably stumped his toe on most of the rock.
You know, every time I think about mountaintop, Eastern Tahoe, Frank and I were thinking out there one summer, Friday, drink some beer.
Yes.
We left the hilltop, eastern Tahoe for a mile. Thought we were at that journey.
I guess I am. I hope I am.
Trying to sort of cover the state to blacktop that road here to Polo. Somebody asked me if I signed it. I signed it. Frank signed it.
Hi, Pat. We miss you. Come back. Got to turn my timesheet in.
Hi,
Where's it?
I think he's still.
That's where I came up. Got a couple weeks
I'm not good at that.
Keeping that Joe Taylor out of trouble. That's a full-time job.
I am. When I get to a quiet person. I'm quiet. I don't know. Say something to Shirley.
How'd you get this job?
On the road we hear about it.
Been doing all right?
Our young lady is coming in. It's supposed to be here. Copy for
But I bet we find somebody that will.
It's great or whatever. Our show. Wayne brought her, if I could read this.
I tell you, I got a note from him the other day, and
It's
I
getting
said,
worse and worse. Yes, I read it through. I know, you're right.
maybe you should be afraid.
Gettysburg. Before that, Carol Lumpy. This worked vividly in there. It looks like we're at.
Excuse me, ma'am? Oh, I will. What song would you like? Well, I'll play the piano. I'll make her. Okay, we should. How are you, sir? This looks like a good gathering. Gathering of fools is what I call it. That's good. That's a positive.
She's so happy that she's going to see it going out the door. She's going to be laughing all the way home. Because we're all here and she's gone. 29 years and 5 months.
29 years and 5 months.
That's second date, Sandy. Oh, is that dance? You can say something.
Well, I feel real stupid. Who is it?
Pat Eastman, the gal in personnel, the one that sits out front out there. Miss Pat, she's in the purple over there.
Oh, that's a drag. Well, that's just no fun.
Yeah. 29 years and 5 months, and she's out of here.
know who you are.
Although we can't imagine whom.
That's right. Today we're here to celebrate Pat's retirement. And her entire working career has been here at OSU Okmulgee. Over all the name changes and all the employees and everything, it's good to see that she has remained here and wanted to stay here for 29 years and 5 months. But before we reminisce about her career here, I want her to introduce her family members that came to be with her today. She has 3 sisters and her mom. So Pat, would you call them up and introduce them or ask them to stand?
This is my mother, Nadine Eastman.
Speak up, Pat. Now's the time to talk up.
I understand you're only 39. Is that also?
She just has old kids. Mary. This is my sister Mary, or as she's known in Kansas as Jeannie. She's still married to me.
She came all the way from Kansas to be here with Pat today. Pat enrolled in the secretarial course in September 1965. And after completing her coursework the next year in August, Wayne Miller, and he can't be here today, but I have a scribbled message from him. I'll try to get through it in a moment. He's in the dentist chair. He says he regrets that he can't be here, but his son is a dentist at Wichita, Kansas, and he already had the appointment when we made this day. She was hired by Wayne Miller to work as a steno clerk in the director's office. I think everybody that started out here in an office was called a steno clerk, which is an antiquated term now, for 1 year, and then she transferred to the registrar's office, where she stayed there for 4 years and was supervised by Grady Clack and Darrell White and Dr. Wesley Hobbs. And later, after they determined that they needed somebody to do the word processing on campus, they developed a little word processing center, which was housed in Dr. Williams' old office. And Pat supervised, she was called supervisor of Word Processing Center. And it was also part of Joe Taylor's business education department. She was part of the time supervised by Joe. So you can see Pat has had a variety of supervisors over the years, and she's done well under all of them. During her 10 years in there, she did all sorts of word processing of letters, instructional materials, and manuals for the instructional departments, and for the entire campus with that automated magnetic typewriters, which at the time was state-of-the-art. In 1981, her title as administrative secretary again had her working out of the director's office, doing the majority of Wayne Miller's word processing, trying to read his scribbling. As Jim Moser just told me, Glenda Mason, when all else failed and he couldn't read his writing, he'd go get Glenda Mason or Carol Luckdale to interpret for him. But she worked there until 1985, when I requested some help. I was desperately needing help at personnel office, and I petitioned Mr. Moser to have another employee. Well, they began to see that there wasn't quite as much work in word processing, so they gave me Pat part-time, and then the next year she came to work full-time in the personnel services office. The following year, I'm sorry, I've already said that. Several of the department heads and supervisors over the years passed, and just last month, is Steve Doty here? He called me begging for some help when his secretary was sick with the flu, and knew that I had loaned Pat out all over campus to help out in a pinch, and I just couldn't say no, so Pat would take off across campus to help everybody. And the only time I really got upset loaning her out was after I loaned her to a certain department head with the initials of A.J. Arterberry. He decided he knew his secretary was going to retire, and he began to try to recruit Pat down here. And I kind of got upset with Art over that. So I wasn't too lenient with her after that. I began to think somebody's going to take her away from me. I'll try to read Mr. Miller's card here and before we move on, because he was a big part of Pat's life, as he was a lot of us. Dear Pat, regret I can't be there in person, will be in the dental chair. He said, since I started on my Christmas cards, I received a special invitation to your retirement party. First I was shocked, you're still a young lady. Not ready for retirement, not when early leavings, no wonder I feel so old. Being one of Joe Taylor's brightest students caused us to employ you right while still a student, and I vividly recall many, many days, months, and years of efficient, dedicated service to OST. From one director's office and from one other office, the word processing center. The old-fashioned belt recorder and you grew up with it right into the very sophisticated word processing computer. Several times Sharon has said that you have continued your loyal, hard-working routine. I thank you and extend congratulations for your years of service and cooperation with our office, OST, and OSU Okmulgee. Well done, and I wish for you years and years of happy retirement. Love, Wayne and Sarah. Very sweet. At this time, I'd like to ask some of her former supervisors to say a couple of words, if they would. Joe Taylor?
I mean, I have to be first.
Right now. Yeah. Beauty before age.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Matt, I'm just tickled to death to see you. That you made it.
Thank you.
God, it doesn't seem like it's been that long ago, but you shouldn't have retired because you don't even have wrinkles yet. How are you going to get by without wrinkles? Oh, it is a pleasure here to greet Pat today. It is an important time in her life that God should be able to do what you want to do. But I can remember Pat quite well when she came here, I guess 18 or 19, one or the other. And I had her in class in several classes over the years, over the next year and a half, I guess. I never had any fear at all that she wouldn't come to school prepared. She was already prepared. And I think we probably ignore you because you're there. I don't recall her ever missing a day in class in sickness either. There's some days when I could see in your eyes that you weren't feeling well, but you were here anyway. So Pat has been a faithful employee over 29 years. It just tickled me, as I said, to death. I didn't mean that literally. I'm happy here too. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Many, many years. Of course, her mother, I met her mother twice some time ago, in fact, years ago. I turned around this morning and called her sister. I said, you are her mother? It's still fun. I still make mistakes. In fact, my eyes are pretty good. I don't know what happened. Her mother still looks young.
Well, it's the snow up here.
Oh, that's it. Well, good luck to you, Pat.
Thank you.
And many years to come.
Thank you, Joe. Jim Roger, would you come up and say a couple of words, please?
Well, I haven't said much since I retired, so it's, but there is a term we use in square dancing and Marcia knows about called yellow rock. I'm going to give her a big yellow rock. Really, I think the best thing I could say about Pat was back in the 70s and early 80s, about everything we did was a crisis, wasn't it? And anytime we had production to get done, we knew we could go to Pat. She'd always be there. I think Joe illustrated or alluded to the fact that she was always there and available, and we'd get her car started and get her home at night.
That still happens.
You haven't got that carburetor fixed.
It's the battery this time.
But the scary part to me is that you were a student. You know, I came before you were a student, and you're retiring now. He's older than I am, but that scares me. But I want you to know that retirement is great, and you make it that way, and I think we really enjoy the show. Congratulations.
Thank you. Our current supervisor over personnel, over my boss, is the interim vice provost for business services, and that's Ken Morris. Ken, would you like to Be nice now.
Be nice.
Say-
Gosh.
I coached him on this. He's
Well, congratulations. I've been here since '91, and ever since then, I've been truly appreciative of Pat's smiling, friendly face being out there to greet people as they come in. It has really made a big difference, and we are really going to miss you. Because now, if Sharon is sitting out there, we just don't know what that'll be like. She said, I just couldn't say anything to you, okay? So I thought, well, but congratulations. I think it's been great. So,
Thanks a lot, Kim.
by the way, I think Sharon told me that she really isn't going to give this away. So I'm sorry I have to dispel any rumors that might have been floating, but this was
That
a
basket
prize,
is
okay?
not
So,
part of the
and I don't know
raffle.
who started those rumors.
Also, I'd like to ask Dr. Bob Klobanish, our provost, to extend his congratulations to Pat if he'd like to at this time.
Okay. I really thought Pat Goff was going to do this for me. She said on the way over she wanted to.
All right, whoever.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Well, Pat, we know what you were doing when you started to work here because Joe and Jim have said that. And Dorothy said to me, I was saving the whales when she started to work here. But during the time that I've been here, I was thinking about a word, perhaps, that I could think of that would best describe the kind of individual that Pat has been, the type of employee that she's been. And there are a lot of words come to mind, but one is utility. And I looked up the definition of utility, and it says a most valuable asset that can perform a number of different types of services. And I thought, Sharon, as you were talking about, at least during the time that I've been here, Pat has worked in several different offices and it really has been a most valuable asset. And then the noun that goes along with that is goodness. And I think if we think about an individual that's been really good and has demonstrated goodness and support and loyalty to the institution and help to all of the individuals that are in this room as well as across the campus and students, you've done just an exemplary job in demonstrating those qualities and characteristics. And so we appreciate the service you provided this institution, and I want to wish you the very best in retirement also. Thank you.
Well, at this time, I want to ask Pat to say a few words if she's capable. I know she gets emotional, and so do I, but we're going to try to get through this together. You want to say a couple of things?
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody who came. Everybody had a part in planning this reception for me. As you said, I've worked in several offices around campus, and I'm reminded of two truckers talking together, and he says, I've been everywhere. She says, no, I know someplace you haven't been. And he starts naming all these towns he's been through. But my sister over here has a master's degree in music. She knows I'm tone deaf, so I won't torture your ears by singing. I have worked in a lot of different offices. And I have enjoyed meeting all of you and working with you, and I'll miss you. I'll come back and visit time to time. Thank you.
We're the fearsome trio here.
I thought it was kind of Three Stooges.
You got a lot of payback time. You got a lot of payback time, guy. Judy and I have truly enjoyed our association with Pat. Get on here on the other side of her. So the video. And we consider her to be a very good lifelong friend, and we will surely miss her in our office. When you were talking about attendance, I had already put in my notes here that she was the first classified employee to reach the 1,600 hours of sick leave when we changed over in 1988 and increased the maximum. We went from like 120-day max to 200. Pat reached it before anybody else did, and she is truly a dedicated, loyal, honest, most valued employee. She's already said, though, she keeps telling us when we're doing something over there, I said, well, you've got to get this finished before you leave, Pat. She said, oh, I'll come back, and I think she's putting things off so she can come back. She said, oh, I can come back and do that. I said, you can't come back for 60 days because teacher's retirement will take your check away. So she keeps putting things back in the corner and said, oh, I'll come back and do that. I'll come back and do that. Just call me. Just call me. So So she's going to be surprised after 60 days when we get to bed. I'm going to call her at 7 o'clock in the morning and get her out of bed to come out here. I read this before we get to her gifts over there in the corner. You all come on in. Come on in where you can see what's going on. Okay. I read this little statement on a wall plaque in an antique mall that Gary and I were in recently, and it says, retirement is when you can quit living at work and start working at living. And we hope Pat can do that real soon, like tomorrow. Let us bring your gifts up here where you'll be in front of the camera and you can open some of them. And the rest of you, get some coffee and punch, and then we'll cut her cake, okay?
You want coffee?
Okay. I wanted to open that one in your left hand first. Hi, Judy Matters. We're
would take care of Somebody's gonna get her busy, keep her busy. Hey, if they call you on the secretary, just turn your back.
Well, I didn't know that. It was over there.
I'm gonna take Claire